Hi bitch, hi bitch. I do not sniff it to roll it. No. It do not jump when I pull it. No. I do not run, I reload it. No. I do not save it, I throw it. White J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. Stop that shit. That fit look like you bought it at the kiosk. And they got a nerve to ask my shit. Why you counting all that money that we got? I ain't worried about no basic bitches. All y'all look like stuff like spirit. All y'all must have looked in the mirror. All y'all looking but the windows in the light. Hi bitch. I don't know, man. I hate this. Hi bitch. Play if you want, but you know I ain't playing like white J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. I do not sniff it to roll it. No. It do not jump when I pull it. No. I do not run, I reload it. No. I do not save it, I throw it. White J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch. Crow is telling you still hating. I look at you and think God I made it like hi bitch. Hi bitch.
Run those likes up, you like girls. Get those likes up, everyone.
Oh my God, Ronnie. White J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch. I do not sniff it to roll it. No. It do not jump when I pull it. No. I do not run, I reload it. No. I do not save it, I throw it. White J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch, hi bitch. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. Stop that shit. That fit look like you bought it at the kiosk.
And you got the nerve to act like I'm hot?
Why you counting all that money that we got?
I ain't worried about no basic bitches.
All y'all look like stuff like spirit. All y'all must have looked in the mirror. All y'all looking but the windows in the light. Hi bitch. I don't know, man. I hate this. Hi bitch. Play if you want, but you know I ain't playing like white J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. I do not sniff it to roll it. No. It do not jump when I pull it. No. I do not run, I reload it. No. I do not save it, I throw it.
White J's,
white Porsche, white wrist, white horse. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. Hi bitch. Hi bitch.
Y'all still hating. I look in the mirror and thank God I made it like
hi bitch. Hi bitch. What you know about it? What you know? What you know about it? What you know? What you know about it? Born cars. What you know about it? Out of some money. What you know about it? Trap house. What you know about it? You don't know about it. Cuban link. You don't know about it. Tiger mink. What you know about it? Out of some money. What you know about it? I don't need no receipt. I see it, I own it, I play for keeps. Don't tell me the price don't matter to me. What I spend in a day, you make in a week. They keep going up like a money tree. Shopping these deals like a money spree. Can't get you the gang, gotta charge a fee. Queen of Rack City, give me the key. I be like, send me the Addy. Hop out the push with a baddie. Got a nice face and a fatty. Do what I say like I'm daddy. Been out here killing them. Yeah, the chain costs about $1 million. Told them make me got $1 billion. Yeah, we see who I should really on. Look, I don't got no curb, I got mileage. I'm always on the jet like a pilot. Can't afford this life. It's a diamond smooth, yeah, I'm throwing money falling to the floor like it's snowing. Woo. What you know about it? Born cars. What you know about it? Out of some money. What you know about it? Trap house. What you know about it? You don't know about it. Cuban link. You don't know about it. Tiger mink. What you know about it? Out of some money. What you know about it?
She got a few joints that I get into, the Culture Vulture, that is. But you guys know what we're here to get into, child. Before we do so, please go ahead and run those likes all the way up. As I told you guys, YouTube is making a lot of major changes to their platforms, which really ain't helping content creators like myself any. So I'm going to need the conscious crew to definitely bash, bully, and harass that like feature. It is $3.99 and it don't cost you nothing to smash the like button. You're not a weirdo over here, so give me all of that work. Also, if you enjoy all things the King do on the platform to entertain you, to inform you, to inspire you, then you can also show some love to the Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or paypal.me/ConsciouzTV. Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the channel. All donation information and other social media handles are in the description box below, as well as in the ticker that is moving from right to left at the bottom of the screen. Also, make sure that you guys have all of your notification bells set to all so that you never miss a day or hour when the King is in fact king. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you in fact lay the link. Just let them whole words know that we're loud, we're live, and we're certainly in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, what's going on, Conscious Crew? We are back. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. If you guys missed out on our last live stream, make sure that you guys check that out. We give an update on singer David, who is finding himself on the horrendous end of an investigation into the death of a 15-year-old girl whose deceased, dismembered body was found in the trunk of his Tesla in a tow yard. Okay, there are major updates surrounding that finding, discovery, and investigation. And we also had to get into Rashida Frost, okay, aka Shawty Low, and her 3-earring wearing husband, Kurt Frost's son, Kai Frost, who you guys know was the main suspect in the fatal shooting death of Atlanta rapper T Hood, who was in a domestic dispute with Kai Frost's sister, Kelsey Frost, okay, the stepdaughter of Rashida, biological daughter of Rashida's husband, Kirk Frost, where he's been cleared for these pending charges, which is now being cited, you guys, as self-defense, okay? But he's not out of the woodworks yet. But you got to check out the previous live stream in order to, you know, figure out why he's not in the clear just yet. Almost to the finish line, but not quite yet. But we're here today to get into Bhad Bhabie, y'all favorite distressed white woman culture vulture. And her recent online meltdown regarding her baby daddy, Levon? Is it Levon? Girl, I don't follow these ghetto ass folk, especially not no ghetto ass interracial folk. And we got to get into Akbar V's recent revelations around the domestic violence she has been experiencing in her marriage, as well as her postpartum. Now, we're going to use Bhad Bhabie as well as Akbar V to go into a deeper conversation that I was inspired to have looking at both of these women's experience. And it was really ironic because me and y'all's fave, Bubs to God, had quite a nuanced conversation last night regarding love and romantic love, etc. So this is kind of going to be a deep dive into the psychology of romantic love and we're going to be having the real conversation here. So please share the stream out to any women you know, any young people you know, any men you know. Just send it out, share it out, share it out. And depending on how this conversation goes, we may end up dropping the link. With no further ado, let me go ahead and invite Bubs D God to the platform. What's going on, Bubs?
What's going on? What's going on, Kang? What's going on, Conscious Crew? I hope everybody is enjoying their Thursday. And of course, as always, I'm looking forward to another, as you say, riveting conversation on tonight. So, yes, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, as I said earlier in the commentary, it was kind of really ironic that both of these stories kind of showed up and kind of are happening on the same timeline, because it went hand in hand with the conversation that me and you stumbled into last night. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that dialogue. I actually forgot to speak to everybody in the chat, but hello to everyone.
What's going on, you all?
And I know you guys are loving the hair. Thank you all. Thank you all for the compliments. Okay, you know, this is my favorite time of the year, autumn, fall. I live for it. It's like the perfect ideal version of summer for me. Summer and winter are like the two polarities, and like fall and autumn are like, you know, that perfect intermediary. So this is my time of the year, child, you know, and you know, reddish brown and curly hair is just so gorgeous in this time of year. It matches the fall colors and the decaying transition of the leaves on these wonderful plush trees. You guys know I live in the South, so you know, I pretty much live under a damn cascade of goddamn trees. Matter of fact, I'm going to have one chopped the fuck down because she has grown too big to her britches. This bitch is as tall as Blue Ivy, child. So I'm going to chop that whole. Have to chop her down, girl. Have to, you know, shave some off the top because I don't need her ass come crashing down through my goddamn studio and busting the bitch in the head. And then I'm with the Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter for eternity. So, you know, we're going to be working on that real soon. But let's go ahead and get into what we're here to talk about, you guys. You guys know rapper and reality TV star Akbar V, also known as Nicki Minaj's little pet puss. She's been in the news for a lot. You guys know she appeared on a season of Baddies, quite entertaining. But recently, Akbar V had gave birth to, I don't know, her fourth or fifth child. And she recently revealed that she pretty much endured birth on her own. I personally had no idea that Akbar V was actually married. She definitely gives single girl vibes, but apparently she's also not only endured her pregnancy alone, but she also is experiencing postpartum, and she revealed that she has been experiencing abuse at the hands of this husband that I didn't know she had. She also posted pictures that seemingly show swelled faces and injuries that she sustained from her husband, which I'm going to show you guys here. Please make sure that you all thumbs up, share the stream out. Okay, support me and Bubs, whose links are also in the description box below. Okay, check this out. Akbar V accuses her husband of abuse, says that she's been raising her newborn son alone and suffering from postpartum depression. Quote, I've been getting my face punched in, but turn around and ask for my money. My God, today. Okay, she captioned this image of a seemingly swollen face with this: I've been getting my face punched in by my husband, but turn around and ask for my money. And I was dumb. I still try to work it out and figure out the problem. He gets mad when I find out he's cheating. Do you see my face? Do you see what I've been dealing with? On top of that, going through postpartum depression, first time he beat me and put me in Jefferson Hospital because he was telling his ex-girlfriend daughter that she can call and ask him for whatever, but knows how much the ex-girlfriend has done in our marriage. I still stayed. Now, he just did this on my birthday, which was 08/22. And he is such a narcissist. Told me that it was my fault because the guy tried to help me when he slapped me. All I said was this lame ninja trying to make me go home, but I was playing, nothing serious. He puts hands on me for nothing. Everyone knows I play and talk smack My husband knows it too. He just wanted to embarrass me at the club for my birthday. So he walks up to this man and whatever happened, happened. But the whole time I'm getting blamed for it. He said, if the guy didn't try to help me, I said that man was minding his business. He walked up on him. Then he say, I'm going to get him in jail or unalived if he stay with me, trying to play victim. I'm tired. I'm not staying with nobody who cheats and abuses me. And I was going to make a police report because he keep putting his hands on me when he get caught doing nothing he shouldn't be doing. Everybody can laugh. I don't care. I'm dealing with a lot. Just pray for me, please. I'm tired. Don't care no more. I'm tired. Then there is another post here that reads, I'm human. I've been trying to do right and walk with God. Ain't got nobody to really talk to. Going through postpartum depression, feeling like not waking up, getting out of bed. On top of that, got a man cheating on me, pillow talking, telling my business to women and making lies up. And all he can bring is Abusive, which was years ago. I'm tired. I have changed. I tried to walk right, man. I'm raising my son alone. I've been sitting here raising him by myself, went through labor by myself, whole 9 months. This man has beat me, drug my name through the mud. I have pictures and all, but all he can keep bringing up is when I used to talk to Abusive, which was years ago. So he cheats and then asks me for money and mad at me when I don't give it to him. I don't sleep. I know a lot of y'all gonna talk crazy about me, but please pray for me. I'm breaking down and don't know which way to go. My son didn't ask to be here, but I'm here taking care of him by myself. Don't even sleep much. Have nobody to help me, but I'm trying to trust God. I try to be faithful in my marriage and be pleasing to God. But when you got a husband like mine who continue to sleep around and don't take care of our son and speak things like he wish he be unalive, is crazy to me. God knows my heart, and I have literally been behind the scenes trying to pray, trying to really do right. And here it is. I'm going through postpartum depression and don't know how to deal with it, but it's no joke. I was told to not go to the internet and put all my business there, but the whole time I don't have nobody to talk to for real. I try to pray and talk to God because he all I got, but somehow he not hearing my humble cry. I just need prayer, as much prayer. Then she captions that with this, please pray for me. Please, postpartum ain't no joke. I'm trying to rap, just rapping. Here it is, always something. I'm done rapping. I give my career up too. And I know God probably pushed my blessings back for bringing this to the internet because he told me not to, but I need as much prayer I can get. I'm tired. This not to bash no one, but to tell God everything I need. Didn't buy my son nothing since he been born, but find a way to cheat and put hands on me. This time I walk away for good. Okay, Akbar shares more of a story, says her husband also wished death on their child. She says, this sitting here smiling, trying to get through the day, dying inside, going through so much behind the scenes. I was being a faithful wife, trying to right my wrongs. And here it is, a man jumping on me, pillow talking, making lies up, beat my face so bad. All he could say is my bad. Don't do nothing for my son. Ain't brought him nothing since he been here. And also wish my son to be unalive. And I still been trying to be a nice person. I still been trying to be better and pray God fix it. But I'm okay with God just getting me out of this marriage. I don't care how much love I gave to him. Too much was broken me down while I had a baby. I'm tired, God. I am tired. I'm getting my number changed and getting far away from everything. I need a break, and she's just going on and on and on. All I ever wanted was to love God and rap. I got married to be pleasing to God. My whole marriage has been a disaster. I did things out of hurt and anger when he drew the first sword. He hates me. I'm unaware. I'm aware you women can stop DMing me this. I know he hates me because he beat me with another woman. And I'm still in here and work and try to smile. I have been trying to be better for months, trying to be pleasing. And this man cheats, sleep with different women. One woman is married, but yet he brings up someone I used to talk to, and I'm so angry and hurt. I really can show pictures of him beating me. One time he put me in the hospital for a woman after I found out what he did, and I'm tired of everything and don't got no friends or family. I'm alone, and that's okay. On my birthday, he wanted me to pay for everybody food and spike up and say, why do Akbar got to pay? It's her birthday. TD swig and swangs made it a special day. Then don't let me get into what happened, how he got angry, trying to embarrass me, put his hands on me again. Got his sister Nia not liking me, his brother Swig, his whole family, cause what I do in return of what he did to me, and all he can say is they see how you do me. Like, what do I do to you besides help you? And when I don't give, then you start sleeping around, talking crazy to me, all the above. I'm over everyone. I've been dealing with all this by myself, and I'm tired. I hate life. I hate everything that's dealing with life right now. I've been getting beat and verbally abused from a man who hates me and talk about me to every woman he sleeps with. God knows all things. All right. I haven't smiled in a long time. All this man do is verbally abuse me, etc. I'll show y'all my face when he jumped on me with another female. Y'all would tell me to throw him in jail. Nothing he can say to me no more. I don't have anything to say. He's laid up with a woman right now while I'm here still being a wife, because I'm going to do everything the right way. I haven't ate all day. I don't eat. I stopped producing milk. Can't breastfeed my baby because of stress. I am tired. And when I get back up after all the beating, I pray God hold me and wipe my tears. You can't be strong forever. Man cheated my whole marriage. You know, it just goes on and on and on and on. My kids reach out to him. I don't have no communication with nobody up there. And Nez is my girl, but I got to cut her and chink off too, which is hard, but I have to. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm tired. MSN is hateful and jealous of me. Tell all these women he hates me. I look crazy right now because I'm on the internet, but I don't got nobody to talk to. Seemingly a text thread. Woman explains how men were designed to submit to their husbands. You gonna pay for the car? I'll give you money back. What you gonna tell them about the picture we took as a family? You gonna say you unhappy you didn't want to take the picture? You don't want me as your wife? The lies you tell. I wish I would do anything for you. You're gonna lose what life. You're gonna feel what life without me. God, please don't ever in life let me get this low, and please don't let me hold grudges, because right now my heart is filled with so much hate and anger and most definitely hurt. Okay. Terrible. So Akbar comes forward about how she's been doing all along. Her husband is a disaster and a freaking narc. She can't take it. She's trying to lean on God. That's not working out too well for her either. And then she's feeling isolated, feeling alone. She doesn't have a close community, and coming forward to the internet was her cry out for help, as everybody is telling her to get out, to press charges, etc., because we oftentimes know how DV ends for Black women. So I hope that Akbar is actually taking action and not just emoting and being emotional, because she is more than likely in a more volatile situation and a deadly situation than what she is realizing. So I hope that she's definitely squared away her paperwork and she is pressing charges accordingly, because that's a lot. Now, while that was happening, y'all favorite white woman in distress, Bhad Bhabie, also came forward to the internet to expose how her baby daddy, she's just at her wit's end. She can't take it. You guys know that Bhad Bhabie and her baby father have been going through it, Levon. And she came forward a while ago with abuse allegations. There were pictures of her with a black eye and bruising, a busted lip. She looked really, really, really bad. One of those images are in the thumbnail. And when the internet came to her defense, she pretty much must have got love bombed and sucked back into the narcissistic cycle of abuse. And she actually defended him against the public after she exposed him for beating her to a bloody pulp. Well, now she's back and melting down again on the internet, basically saying she's done. She can't take it anymore. Her baby daddy has responded. He has published footage of her seemingly straddled to the hood of his car, not allowing him to leave, crying profusely. I mean, it is a whole hot and entire mess. So let me show you guys all of this mania. Okay, this is Bhad Bhabie.
And no more ever again in my life. I went through so much shit trying to love this person. I went through so much shit trying to understand this person. I went through so much shit. I have suffered so much trying to deal with this man.
Okay, next slide.
You know, he really told me, I don't hit you no more because I know the type of white police bitch you are. Meanwhile, I've only made one police report against Levon. One. When he's hit me, let's see, if we've been together for 3 years, and well, March will be 3 years, and there's 365 days in a year. That means roughly 900 days. He's hit me at least 500 times. He's spit on me well over that. Levon is the first and only person to ever spit on me, spit in my face at all.
Okay, so apparently they just had another physical dispute and altercation where Levon spit in her face, etc.
Only happens. I only feel like this living with Levon and living with my mom. When I was younger, I would question myself all the time, like, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep causing all these problems? Why every time I say I don't want something being done to me, I get in trouble for it? Why does it start a fight? Why do they say these things to me? And it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I feel like Levon has been trying to train me to shut up and deal with it. I'm so happy that I didn't leave him because I...
Now, this is her earlier on romanticizing her relationship, salivating over their relationship to the man who has been hurting her in various ways.
I would never find what I have with him in anybody else. And it's gotten so much better. It's like a whole different ball game. And it's like, I always think about it like, damn, if I would have left, I'd be missing out on this.
But then it's also like the opposite end of the things could be like, what happens if, you know, like, it's not even about you leaving him. What if it's the other way around? Like, it's just, I want you to be happy. I want you to feel loved. I want your daughter to feel loved. I don't know what it's like to be a mom. I know what it's like to be a woman.
Okay. So Levon seemingly responded to Bhad Bhabie coming forward about spitting in her face and her being done, etc. And he shared this to his social media, schizophrenia, laughing emoji. He shared this, whoop-de-damn-do. And then he also shared this footage of Bhad Bhabie strapped to the hood of his car, absolutely experiencing full-on psychosis.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £100 off for a family of 4.
Jenny, get off the car. Are you even staying?
Millions of free child place holidays available with 22 kilograms.
I want to play that one more time.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £100 off for a family of 4.
Jenny, get off the car. Are you even staying?
Millions of free child place holidays available with 22 kilograms.
My God, today, girl, this is like a lot, and I'm loaded up with commentary. Before I allow Bubs to sound off first and to give his initial thoughts, etc., I want to respond to a comment in the comment section. Let me see here. Let me see here. Someone, it was Sania who says, why does everything have to be broadcast on social media? Yeah, you know, there's definitely a place for that particular statement as it relates to one's personal life and people exploiting their personal life and bringing the public into the mix. I'm going to make the exception, though, when women come forth about physical abuse simply because of the issue of femicide and DV oftentimes leading to being fatal for women. So for me personally, I don't mind or care or judge women coming forward about physical abuse, because I think it's one of the ways to document what's taken place and to leave a receipt and a record regarding a circumstance that a woman may not even be alive to speak about later. So women coming forward to expose violence at the hands of an intimate partner, I think that that's a good thing for the actual woman in the situation who's being abused. I think it's also important to sound off and to also inform the community and other community members, the community of women, etc., about these men who are abusing these women profoundly, emotionally,
Agreed.
mentally, sexually, physically, etc. So I believe in the whistleblowing of it all when it comes to this type of domestic terrorism in romantic relationships. But I'm not totally against what Sonia is saying. I do think that the statement can apply in other situations and circumstances, but this isn't one of them for me personally. But Akbar V and Bhad Bhabie coming forward, revealing devastating emotional injury and physical injury to themselves at the hand of their romantic partner. What are your initial thoughts? What were you thinking as both of those stories were playing out?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Am I clear? Okay. Before I answer that question, for those of you that partake of the herb, please do, because baby, what we just witnessed was like, wow. And it's very, very difficult to watch stuff like that. And it's kind of like, because I am an empathetic person, it's like, even though this is a person who, or people that have subscribed to, I guess, a certain ideology about living the fast life or the famous life and all that comes with it. They think that all that is going to fix everything, and it doesn't. If anything, it just intensifies whatever issues that these individuals have before they came into fame or came into, hyper visibility. But it's still sad to see them go through that. And especially with Bhad B, I'm just call it Bhad B. Bhad B, who we've seen pictures, just her sharing her experience, and the fact that the man in her life, the one that's supposed to love her and cover her, don't really fucking give a damn.
And the same thing for Akbar V. I mean, like, her whole husband is beating her face in and cheating on her and using her and etc. And that's her husband.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to, again, chapter 5 of Blame It on the Dress. That chapter speaks about how white supremacy has set up the idea with patriarchy that the men are the prize, and there's a certain idea of masculinity to where both gay men and women, females, and even heterosexual men all compete for this level of adoration, because if I am connected to that, that means it brings value to my life. We saw with her talking about, oh, I'm so glad that I didn't leave him and all this other type of stuff, but it's like, it's the level of attachment that she has to him that is unhealthy. And how she is using that level of attachment to literally blind her to what she really needs to deal with. And I think we see this a lot going on in humanity, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get into a lot deeper. But initially watching that, it was just like, wow, I had to spark up a little bit and kind of get my mind a little bit in a different type of headspace, because even in my own personal life, I've been having conversations for the past week that were kind of in a transformative or transitional type of period, like both Akbar and Bhad B are in right now. Because it's like, now you're making all these things public. You are actually going to have to walk this out if you really care about your livelihood. Because if you don't, all that's going to do is just prove to these narcissistic people that they always and forever have power over you. And then on top of that, where's the community at? The community needs to be around to help these people. They shouldn't have to resort to coming online to talk to people. And yes, shout out to Sonia for the comment. But these are individuals who have money, have power, have privilege, and instead of using those resources to go to therapy to face their issues, it's like they don't want to do that, because if they do, they're seen or deemed to be crazy. And they can't trust anyone around them because they're the one that got money. So I don't know if you're around me because you care for me, or if you simply want something from me. So some people have no choice but to resort to the internet. But now that it's public, it's like, we're going to have to really do something about this. Like, this is a part of community, the part of empathy that we really need to work on. Like, just imagine what would happen if Akbar and Bhad Bhabie had community around them that actually loved them, affirmed them, and also held their asses to be accountable. Hold them to be accountable for their actions. Because if you know what you're dealing with, if you can understand the cycle, if you can understand the level of abuse that you're dealing with, and you're still staying in it, you are playing into your own destruction. But that's where self-love comes into play. Because when you don't, you will always choose power outside of you. And sometimes that power outside of you don't give a fuck about you, as we can unfortunately see. And the crazy part is that there are younger boys and younger men that learn and think that that is how love is supposed to be. And then you have young girls and women who think that, well, that's how love is supposed to be. But yet want to have the nerve to sit up here and talk about protecting the children. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson. To your point, yeah, a lot of people perception of love is that. Go ahead, continue. I was ad-libbing.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure we're going to get deeper into it. But that's just my initial thoughts for right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I also want to say, as a victim of narcissistic abuse myself, I recognize that what both Akbar and Bhad Bhabie are going through is narcissistic abuse. When she had survived her Bhad Bhabie, that is, her initial DV experience that resulted in horrendous injuries to her face, we saw the interview of her then romanticizing her relationship under the belief that her relationship had improved, etc. And now we're here where they're back, physically fighting, and there's major breakdown. That period that Bhad Bhabie was kind of salivating over more than likely was the period in which the narcissist begins to love bomb you as a way of deflecting from the harm and shifting the narrative of them being a villain who just simply made a mistake and is really a good guy. And because narcs are really skillful in love bombing and really appealing to your soft spots and really playing into the person that you think they are and you want them to be, this oftentimes becomes the thing they exploit, which is what makes it possible to be like so forgiving even after a narc has showed their fucking ass to the utmost intense degree. But that typically comes after they've groomed you, socialized you, and indoctrinated you into this belief that they're really good people. This is after they've shown you that they are capable of being who you need, being who you want, and being a healthy partner for you. And because love is empathetic, love is compassionate, love is long-suffering, and because when we're in love, we oftentimes fall in love with the intent of our forever person staying together forever, we also don't want to believe any of that ugly shit demonstrated by the abuser. We also don't want that to be the truth. We don't want that to be the actuality of the person that our love is idealizing. So that collaborates with the narcissist love bombing And we're able to get to a place where we move past the offenses, move past the infidelities, move past the usury, the humiliation, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse, etc. But because the narc has a literal personality defect, they can't help but ultimately result back to the problematic, broken, demon-infused monster that they really, truly are. And this creates this up and down fluctuating cycle, which also plays into your biological hardwiring of fight and flight, which is why abusive relationships, whether they're just emotionally abusive or physically abusive, can be so addictive, because they literally, that up and down, round and round, plays into that reward center part of our brain, that fight or flight wiring in our biological makeup, which creates that perpetual like toxic cycle. So abusive relationships are really a scientific concoction. You know, on the surface, we think we're just looking at people who are silly, who are goofy, who should know better, but it's deeply psychological. So many areas of your humanity are collaborating in a toxic relationship, such as your childhood trauma, your unresolved trauma, your loneliness, your self-loathing, your unconscious, biological hardwiring. All those things go into why people may put up with abuse of various levels. Also, there's something much deeper and psychotic that is also taking place that we don't account for. When I talk about this attachment style in toxic relationships, we're literally talking about literal science. Like, scientists have discovered that the same region of the brain that is stimulated and activated when a person is high on narcotics is the same region of the brain that is active and stimulated when a person is in fucking love. So when a person is so caught in love, they're literally in a physiological addictive state. They're in a addictive state. When I saw that footage of Bhad Bhabie strapped to the hood of that car for her life, begging from the depths of her soul for someone who doesn't mean well to her to stay with her, I literally, in my brain, was looking at the equivalent of a crackhead holding on to a crack pipe, looking at a meth head holding on to meth, looking at an alcoholic holding on with everything they have in them to the fucking bottle. That was an addict strapped to the hood of that fucking car. So when it doesn't seem like it's enough, like, oh, how many times, you know, can a person get their ass whipped? How many times can they get lied to? How many times can they get cheated on before they finally wake up? You know, they're just being dumb. It does look that way if you don't understand what's going on chemically in the victim, if you don't know what's going on psychologically. But oftentimes why even the experience of hurt and harm isn't enough is literally because the person's brain is literally fighting against themselves. If you have untreated trauma and you have a erroneous understanding of what love is, because maybe you also grew up with terrible demonstrations of what love was. Maybe you grew up witnessing abuse and violence and negligence and emotional harm, etc. Then that was also bred by a toxic culture that had erroneous narratives around love. And then you're already hardwired to these attachment styles because of your trauma. I mean, could you imagine then the chemical aspect of this thing also dog piling onto all of those variables, which can result in some people never ever actually leaving toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have died in toxic relationships. People have grown in old age and spent the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years of their life in an abusive marriage, both men, women, straight, gay, white, black, etc., alike. A person is almost, especially when they have trauma coupled with being in this addictive state, is almost equivalent to being possessed entirely. Like you're looking at a person who is trapped within themselves by forces that, if not understood properly, can be perceived as greater and more powerful
Right.
than themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very deep thing that happens to people across the board. And, you know, coupled with our conversation last night, I was thinking to myself about how most people, as it relates to the general public, most people probably are not actually loving in the way that they think they are. Most people are probably loving on a very shallow, transactional, egotistical level. What oftentimes and what's generally happening when we begin to outsource for friends, outsource for romantic partners, especially if you're a minority person, because we also know that like mental health conversations have not been loud and prioritized in minority communities. We tend to yield to religion, tend to yield to just self medicating, whatever that looks like for us, to deal with our afflictions. That's a very bad thing. But because of the false cultural narratives around love, coupled with the fact that most people have some degree of unresolved trauma in their life, what really is happening on an unconscious level when we begin to outsource for love platonically and romantically is that we are literally looking for other people who will agree to love us so that we don't have to do it ourselves. And in return, I will love you so you don't have to do it yourself. That is the unconscious exchange that is happening, because the demographic of people who actually do the soul work and do the shadow work and do the level of work necessary to truly arrive at the authentic and full, healed, and whole self are a minority compared to the general public who's in a disillusioned state, walking around with a false sense of self, walking around and hoarding all levels of emotional and physical trauma that has not been properly transmuted and healed, who are outsourcing for people who can be their sedative to that pain. People are running to the altar with their sedative. People are in monogamous relationships and yielding to the person who offers them the highest sedative. The general public is forming relationships mostly with other people in the context of numbing themselves and distracting themselves, and a desire to have someone else save us from ourselves. And then we lock ourselves into these unconscious agreements with other people that you will do my work and I will do your work. And then we wonder why then the relationships eventually profoundly corrode. And something that started off seemingly so beautiful, so idealistic, started off with everything ahead for itself, then ends in utter disaster. And we can see that disaster even in the statistics around how high the DV rates are between same gender loving women. Domestic violence is through the roof. We can see the epidemic of singleness that is profuse through the same gender loving male community. We can see the high divorce rates and DV rates, both physically and emotionally, in the heterosexual community. And it's because our very premise around forming relationships is flawed. So you have broken people seemingly calling trauma bonding with another person love. And when you get people who are not doing their work, they don't even know what the work is. They've never seen the work demonstrated. They don't have a lot of messaging in their everyday reality that motivates them and directs them to where they can do that work in and do that work at and have the resources available to them to do that work. Then you get a fucking codependent mess and entanglement, like what we're seeing across the board in all fucking communities. And I want all people to wake the fuck up, because you absolutely have to love yourself before you can truly fucking love anyone else. But more importantly, you have to love yourself and also to keep yourself from bonding to dynamics with people who don't fucking love you. Because you're going to find and come across more people in this world who don't fucking love you that do. But if you have unrepentant, unresolved issues in your fucking self, you won't have the inner strength and capacity to sever your ties or to separate yourself or to misalign yourself with such people. That self-love that's necessary is not only needed so that you now have a reference for what love should look like outside of you based upon what the love inside of you looks like, but is also your spinach and your muscle and your power to bring separation to any relationship that becomes an issue for your mental health and your inner alignment. That self-love is your infinity stone. It is both your reference and also your savior. And without it, you run the risk of fucking up your whole entire fucking life. Chained and bonded to your inner demons, which are now being represented through your external partner. I think you were trying to get up in here.
No, I was just agreeing with everything that you stated, and I can even look at my own life experience. I mean, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I saw what heterosexual love looked like. Saw my parents slow dance, all that type of stuff. But there was no sort of same gender loving representation that was healthy for me. And of course, imagine growing up being told all around you, through organized religion, through the fear of the family, through the expression of ignorance and fear through my peers at the time, that you are nothing, you are valueless, you are evil, you're demonic, all these things. of course you're not going to be able to love your damn self, because even if you love yourself, that's being deemed as something demonic or anti-Christ, because you're supposed to give up your identity for Christ, but Christ loved me, which means I got to love myself too. But I didn't have that sort of self-love at all. And because I was bullied, I had to work overtime or be a people pleaser. When I got older and I came out and started dating, I would attract dudes who, yes, just like me, were broken. They were afraid to trust. But I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do? I was trying to be, Captain Save a nigga in a sense. Doing everything I need to do. And CTV can attest to everything that I'm talking about, because he met me before my ego death in 2018. And how broken I was, but how dependent I was on other people, because I wanted something from them, but they did not love themselves and they couldn't love me. And I did not love myself. And the love that I thought I had for them was really attachment, an unhealthy amount of attachment. So I also done stupid stuff as well in love, but it was a toxic form of love. And I remember my mother would tell me all the time, Bubs, you just got to love yourself and let love find you. And it'd be like, if you was not my mama, I don't hit women, but in this moment, I do slap itches. No shade, because that's what I was feeling. But I had to learn that after my ego death, after I started putting myself first and what I wanted. But that also allowed me to be alone, which, like CTV said, there is a loneliness epidemic within the same-gender loving community of men. But I think that's also the opportunity for us to learn how to love ourselves, because it seems like the only value that we have, and we can even put this on both sides of the fence, is sex. It's like the sex is the most valuable aspect of it. Because it's like, yeah, you go through all that toxic shit. He beating your ass, she beating your ass, whatever level of abuse. But when it's time to make up, baby, that's when I'm sorry. And it's like this spell, this chaos spell being put on each other. And you don't even know it, because you're even using sex in a incorrect way in reference to the spiritual aspect of it. So we didn't have a lot of people there that were able to teach us. And like I said earlier, no community there to guide us on what is considered healthy energetically. And my thing is, I feel like this shit has been happening for a very, very long time. It's just the fact that now in the era of social media, now people can show it. And yes, I understand those two women have done horrible, heinous things, which, no shade, they will be dealt with as far as the law of polarity and the law of cause and effect. But it's also an opportunity for them to learn from the situation and to become better. And again, these are younger people as well that is experiencing this. It's just, wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Most people have been.
And what's going on, Medusa? I'm sorry. Hey.
Wrongly misinformed, and it is destroying people's lives because they're chasing behind an illusion and chasing for the manifestation of something that cannot be in and of itself. In responding to something that Sonia said, this is also interesting that Sonia is speaking.
Yes, I'm glad you put that up. Yeah.
Is speaking about why people should not put love spells on, I wouldn't just say men. Let's have a brief conversation about love spells and spell work, because I am a mystic and a Christian witch myself, and I practice all levels of the craft. And what people need to keep in mind, because even this conversation goes hand in hand with the conversation that we are having up here, is that I want to dispel a myth for one. Love spells, this hair is like flying everywhere. Love spells. Hold on, let me get my hair together because she's really distracting me. Right now, you guys should run those lights up, run them all the way up. I told you guys we were going to be having a real conversation right now.
Girl, even the hair want to be involved, bitch. She said, girl, let me lay it down. Man. Get up a little bit.
The hair is always involved. She just needs to humbly know her place.
She's trying to be the star of the show, girl.
She wants to be the stizzar. And
She said, bitch, you are attached to the stizzar, girl. Be glad I got you on, girl. I got all these other hoes waiting in the background. Which one you want? You want to change it? A little quick change?
The hair is just an helper outer to the actual star.
Come on now.
So, spell work. Let's talk about the way the spell work works, for one. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about the way that spell work works. Spell work does not, in and of itself, and cannot put love in someone for you. But that's the large perception around love work, is that it puts a blanketed love over the target. That's not what's actually happening in spell work. On a metaphysical level, what's actually transpiring is that if you cast a love spell on someone and it is successful, and a person begins to demonstrate affections for you, seemingly fall in love for you, what the spell work did was it removed all of the counterintelligent components that was hindering that person from realizing their potential feelings for you. Love work plays off of potential, but for love work to be successful, there has to be a foundation for romance, for lust, for sexual attraction to begin with. Even if that ratio is very small, even if that percentage is very small, love work can help to build upon that by removing the things that may be getting in the way of a person being able to fully realize the way they feel for you, whether that may be fear. For same-gender loving people, love work would be important because oftentimes issues of homophobia, self-hate, prohibit same-gender loving people's ability to really move forward in their relationships, to even entertain relationships because of the fear of being outed and the level of responsibility and visibility that comes with a romantic relationship. So spell work could be effective in helping a person navigate their fears and their concerns, their issues with intimacy, etc. But if that person has the potential to have feelings for you, then through softening up some of those barriers that are keeping them from feeling fully for you can definitely result in a person falling in love, falling in lust, etc. But love spells do not put feelings in a person. They only play off of, expound upon, and help to motivate the capacity already in a person to have feelings for you, which is why love work is a hit and miss like any other type of spell work, like any other type of prayer work, because we're dealing really in the realm of possibility and probability and potential. So if you were to cast a love spell on someone who literally does not see it for you, that love work will be ineffective. You can cast them till you're blue in the fucking face, and this person is not going to desire you in that way. It's just not there. It's just not in them to feel that way. But to Sonia's point, I too oftentimes encourage people to also keep in mind when you are wanting to entertain either casting a love spell yourself, or you are hiring a metaphysician to cast a love spell on someone. Keep in mind what you're really asking for, because if you're wanting to cast a love spell on someone who has a lot of undealt with trauma, who is abusive in nature, who is a shitty person, who doesn't have the best integrity, who's inconsistent, who's grapey, immature, all a love spellers want to do is help this person to be able to see you in a lustful or loving capacity, but you're still going to inherit all of that fucking baggage. So love spells can also end up horrendous because imagine casting a love spell on someone who has a obsessive personality type, who have a addictive personality type, who is abusive in nature. You've just invited that into your life in a very intense way, which is what lust and love oftentimes results in. It's a very intensified relational thing. So you don't want to have on rose-colored lenses, not only when it comes to casting spells, but you don't want to have on a rose-colored lens, even just when it comes to intellectually outsourcing for a partnership with someone. You cannot compart human beings. And I know that we do that a lot. We get caught up in the parts that feel good to us. And even though this person may have a bad track record in other relationships, maybe they behave badly, even in the relationship that you have with them in some capacity, but we only want to be faithful to the parts of them we only want to play into and consume and be fixed upon the parts of them that feel good to us. That's problematic as fuck, because you can't separate the person from their entirety. You can't separate the person from their totality. And eventually, these pathologies that are problematic, that are not ideal for partnership, eventually bleed into your experience. It always happens. The other shoe always drops. Those red flags that you can see a mile away, those red flags that you've been minimizing, that you've been passive toward, that you've just been, trying to sit to the side, sit on the shelf, tuck it underneath, eventually are going to show up and rear their ugly head, because that comes with the individual too. So going back to what Bub said about attachment, oftentimes, especially in Western culture, being synonymous with love, we have to be very mindful of that, because oftentimes attachment does get conflated for love. What a lot of people are calling love is nothing more than attachment. It's nothing more than egotism. I don't think that most people personally are even loving, which is why most people's love is very conditional. Like, oh, I'll feel this way about you, and I'll continue to do this for you, and I'll continue to be happy as long as you do A, B, D, C, D, and G. Well, that's very conditional. That's very transactional. And that goes back to my earlier dissertation about how most people are really outsourcing for their own healing and validation through the acceptance and love of another person, and there being this unconscious agreement that if I do your work for you, you will in exchange do my work for me. And that is the central theme of our relationship. And then you eventually see the toxicity of that, because that eventually turns into control, unhealthy codependency, paranoia, projection, all these things that eventually lead to motherfuckers swinging on each other, hurting each other, violating each other, saying and doing unkind things to each other. So once you become an adult and you look back over your life and you think about what has been demonstrated to you, you have to really evaluate what all this data you've collected from the culture and from your anecdotal experience in terms of what is supposed to be love. I always encourage people to get into therapy, even if you think that you're okay, because okay is relative. Okay is relative. A lot of people who are living dysfunctionally feel okay, feel normal. and have no idea that they're in trouble, have no idea that they're in quicksand. So feeling okay doesn't necessarily mean that you're well. And feeling like the life you're living is normal isn't per se synonymous with living a healthy life. So even if you're under the belief that your ass is healthy, you're okay, you're wonderful, you're blessed, I always still encourage people to get into therapy and let a really skilled, trained person poke around in that brain and to open up perspective for you so that you have an opportunity to really see yourself and your life for what it is, which could be drastically different from the way you've been perceiving it up until putting a professional amidst your shit and evaluating and breaking that down together. You have a lot of people who have high functioning depression, who have
That
high
part.
functioning anxiety, high functioning loneliness. So people think because they are functioning, they are going along to get along, they're paying their bills, they are moving through, and they're doing that relatively well. Once again, that's synonymous to everything is okay, everything is fine. Baby, you could be suffering in silence and not even know it, and you don't know it because you've never even been told that what you are carrying is stress in and of itself, because it's always been so tethered to just everyday life. This is just what we do. This is what we feel, and not even knowing that what you're feeling is destructive, deteriorating at your quality of life, and more importantly, not even knowing that there is a better version of yourself in life, and that this isn't the only way to live and to show up, and this isn't the only thing that's available to you. So my heart goes out to Akbar V and to Bhad Bhabie.
Yeah.
Both of them seem to be victims of narcissistic abuse. Both of them would need deep psychotherapy in order to really unpack how they've come to love the men that they love, the abusers that they love, because there are things informing their loyalty and their efforts and their faithfulness to these abusers. And that's a conversation that goes beyond just the abuser themselves. That conversation is going to go back into their own personal trauma, which are all things that help us to get up and end up on the radar of really, 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 really bad people. And that also keep us from dealing with bad people and toxic people the proper way. There are some deep self-esteem issues in a person and in all people, men, women, white, black, straight, gay, trans alike, if we are continuing to be in intimate proximity to people who are putting their hands on us, that are mentally and emotionally taking advantage of us, disrespecting and dishonoring our boundaries. That's not love. And you're not loving them by enduring that. Because love, real love knows how to love from afar. Real love knows how to love a person way over there, baby.
Clock it.
The relationship is circumstantial. The love is unconditional. The relationship, conditional. The love, unconditional. And real self-love encompasses high self-esteem, a sense of genuine and authentic dignity and pride in one's own self, genuine love. Self-love encompasses a solid self-respect. That's how you know that you love yourself. And me and Buff were just talking last night, and I was saying that I'm personally in a period of isolation in my life. Like, this is probably the time in my life where I've had the smallest friendship group, the smallest community group. I walked away from so many
Same
people.
here.
I walked away from so many people over the past few years that it's crazy. My personal life almost looks night and day to how it used to look. And I'm very proud of that. Because through self-love, I learned that I was settling, I was justifying, and I realized that I was collaborating with the people that I was blaming for the way that I felt.
Right.
And, you know, being on a self-love journey, I also have realized it's not like a light at the end of the tunnel. You reach indefinitely. It's a everyday, all day, person by person, situation by situation commitment that you make over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not like some point you reach and then that's it. It's a consistent awakening, and it's a commitment to burden yourself with being self-aware again and again and again and again. And it's a commitment to being willing to walk away as many motherfucking times as you need to. Because that's absolutely what you're not going to put up with. And if that seemingly almost seems to leave you by your fucking self, then that is what it is. Because that is the commitment of a person who knows their worth, who truly is in touch with who they are and knows who they are, and will not make any space for any dishonor, disrespect, disregard, and in self-love is a strength to do that as many times as necessary. You may end up with a lot more goodbye in your life than hellos. But if what you're saying goodbye to is people who don't serve you, people who don't respect you, people who don't see you, people who don't want you, people who pretend to, people who breadcrumb you, just like the scripture say, if your brother offends you 77 times, go to him and forgive him 77 times. Tell his ass goodbye 77 times too, if need be. Walk away 77 motherfucking times. Break up 77 motherfucking times. Because in the words of Justin Bieber, baby, can't you clock that I'm standing on business? That's your commitment, is to stand on business. Not to force someone else to see your worth, not to try to intellectualize or love bomb people into treating you accordingly to. As Iyanla says, your only job is to observe the way that a motherfucker loves you. And it's also okay to give people the opportunity to say, hey, this hurts, or this is, et cetera, and give people the opportunity to correct themselves. But if they don't, like Iyanla says, baby, observe and then adjust. Your only job is to observe the way people are, and then you decide if that has any place and room and space.
Exactly.
In your life. And honestly, self-love is like the hardest motherfucking thing I have ever done in my entire fucking life. And nobody told me that it was a lifelong commitment. And nobody told me that it was going to be a moment to moment to moment to moment to moment experience. When I first got on the journey of self-love, I thought it was a destination. I thought, okay, like I'm going to arrive at a place.
Yep.
No, it is a page by page, line by line, precept by precept, unending curriculum and commitment to self. To self. And the other really beautiful aspect of self-love is that through the journey of getting to know yourself and deepening your inner intimacy with yourself and courageously living as your authentic self, aligning yourself with the things that make you happy, that inspire you, that build you up, the reason why you will be able to endure giving as many goodbyes out as need be to maintain your mental health and your peace of mind and your personal integrity and sense of happiness is because in the action of self-love, you really also give birth to the part of you that also can enjoy your own company.
There you go. Yep. Yep.
You arrive at a place where you finally can enjoy your own company. And that's why you're able to graduate and transcend needing people and just want people. Baby, I want you. I don't need you. I'm okay doing this by myself. I'm okay and thriving, in fact, on my own. This is not about a need. If you have a place in my life, if I'm allowing you in my life, and because you're learning yourself and becoming yourself as you're growing in yourself, that's not a bad alternative to be alone. That's also a happy space now too.
Yes.
That's also a peaceful space now too. That's also a space of service and a space of fun and curiosity and thrill. The being alone thing no longer has that sting, a stigma attached to it. You find the good in the thing that the world convinced you once upon a time was bad, because the world is mostly selling cultural narratives that play into our lower selves and our codependencies and our inability to be personally competent. My heart goes out to the Akbars and the Bhad Bhabies, because anybody who has had to be on a healing journey and anybody who has had to become undone to become again probably has been an Akbar or a Bhad Bhabie in some degree. Have been out of their minds, deep off in their egos, deep off in their pain body, normalizing heightened states of psychosis, and then literally calling the other person crazy when it's two of us in this padded room together. And the only one I can take accountable for is
myself.
It's me. I can only take responsibility for my crazy, for my cuckoo.
And I think if people were to make that more the focal point, again, that would be the change, because you came to this world by yourself. You're going to leave the world by yourself. And you with you 24/7, 365 in your own head and your own experiences. I mean, again, like I said, with CTV, he can attest to my ego death in 2018. I met him, I think in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, 2015, 16, around that time. And baby, when I tell you
we met in 2016?
What, like, I think it was like a few years before then, wasn't it?
I don't know. We knew each other in 2016.
Anywhere from 2015 to 2017, girl. In between there.
It don't seem that far. 2017 don't seem right.
It was around that time, 2015 and like 2017, but it was before then. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Wow.
But
Jesus, time is flying.
but I mean, when I was going through my ego death and he was wrestling with my ego, baby, I felt like Beatrice Kiddo and Kill Bill 2, bitch, and he was Pai Mei. He was about to chop my damn arm off, everything. But it was that level of attachment that I had, and especially with me being an analytical person, you can't think your way out of this. You're gonna have to feel your way out of this. You know what I'm saying? So when I had my ego
gotta
death,
heal your way out of it.
yeah, heal. But you gotta feel it in order to heal it so you can let it go. I didn't know any of that, or I was afraid to feel that. Imagine, again, being a people pleaser and just, again, being analytical. What do I need to do to accomplish this very problem? I'm trying to find the word, Lord. I'm losing words right now, but problem solving or orient of problem solving, if you will. But again, because I did not love myself, I was doing things outside of me. And I was hoping that those individuals would eventually give back to me. But these people came from brokenness as well, in certain aspects. So they could not give it back. I can understand being the baddie B that's on the damn car in the hood and shit, about to lose her damn life, crying and shit like that. I know what that feels like, to want something so bad. I remember one time, girl, when I was on the phone with CTV, and I tell him about this a lot. We laugh about it. But at that time, it wasn't funny, girl. I was sitting there talking to him, and I was just like going through it. And I'm like, I feel like I'm about to lose my mind. And then, girl, CTV started busting out laughing, girl. I'm like, why you laughing? It hurt. But he was like, no shade. That's the point. You're supposed to lose your mind. Lose that old mind. You have new information. And like the scripture reads, you can't pour new wine into an old wineskin. It's going to burst.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a new mind. So when I had my ego death in 2018, it gave me the opportunity, like CTV said, even though I lived my life a certain type of way, or believing or an ideology for a certain type of way, there is something different on the other side. And the fact that I was pushing myself even before I became aware of my self-love, and I look back at it now, it was like I've always been doing that. Surviving the onslaught that a lot of queer children, unfortunately, are going to face in the next 3+ years. I survived that when there were other queer youth who did not. I'm grateful to be 34 years old as a Black man, statistically speaking. Even in the area that I live in right now, would make me a statistic. But I had to push myself through it. And like CTV said, even though it's not a destination as far as self-love, you will have checkpoints.
It's a foundation.
And when you finally get to that checkpoint, or like you said, the building of the foundation, something new being added, it's like, wow, things start to make sense, but you got to go through it. But we live in a world that says, why go through it? Why heal when
and I'm gonna tell
we
you,
can just go ahead.
I want to say this.
No, go ahead.
This is why self-love will never be a destination, but it'll be it's relational. Like, it's just like just like we know that any relationship in our life that means something to us, it requires showing up consistently and pouring in consistently and making ourselves available consistently. It's not like the relationship will be there just for the hell of it. If the relationship is not poured into, if the relationship doesn't have any value, if the relationship is not maintenance, the relationship will weather and eventually not be ultimately. And that's kind of like how I have been experiencing self-love, because if I'm being really honest, like, self-love is very fleeting, but I know why it's very fleeting. It's very fleeting because we're also biological, chemical beings. We literally have hormones. We have dopamine, serotonin. We have endorphins that we experience when we are experiencing pleasure and non-pleasuring stimuli. So because I am literally, we're 3-part being, with mind, body, and soul. I am biological and chemical, but I'm also divine. Both of those things exist simultaneously. But both of those things, as much as they work together, also are independent of each other. And sometimes, or because you're having a simultaneous experience of being a divine being, being a spiritual being, and a material being, sometimes both of those beings are going to be on two different pages because they interpret, feel, experience, and perceive very differently, and oftentimes oppositional to one another. This is why you find in most spiritual literature there is a constant running theme and instruction to pray, to consecrate oneself, because oftentimes these two aspects of ourselves are designed inherently different because they have different purposes. They serve different functions, and they can oftentimes take on two different opposing attitudes, which ultimately is what causes us to be psychotic at times and delusional as hell at times, etc., because of this experience of being, and what I'm going to say, just for the sake of saying it, a two-part being. So I can know better in my inner man, but my outer man may be informed a different way.
Yeah.
My outer man is responding with, it's responding with a knee-jerk reaction,
right,
to the obvious.
right.
My inner man has a different reality and may be less reactive in all reality, may even so-called know better, while my body doesn't. Foot to your ass while my inner integrity is grieved. I didn't want to have to put this foot in your ass. Seemingly couldn't stop from putting this foot in your ass.
Well, here we is.
And now I'm in an inner conflict with myself because I did something that ultimately I really didn't want to do. How does that happen? It happens because of this separation of church, my inner man, and state, my outer self. My outer self. And sometimes that separation is where the tension in ourselves comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so constant praying, fasting, showing up authentically, like these are choices, I realize. It's not that my body is ever going to naturally be okay with being hit. I'm always going to want to hit back. If someone hurts me, the logical conclusion may be to hurt back.
Correct.
These things are going to be natural to that aspect of myself. And so the only way to stay behind the wheel of the car, to stay behind the wheel of self, is to decide who I really am, first and foremost, amongst these selves. Who is the real me? Who am I deciding is me? And then once I've made a commitment to that, to live in a way that supports my ability to be strong in that version of myself. And so that's why I say, like, I don't look at self-love for me as a destination, because for me, I have to choose to love myself every single fucking time. It's not like it's coming so-called naturally. And recently, I had the experience of being like, damn, I almost want to just like lay down into this, because that would just be easier to do. But because of who I've been training myself to be, who I've been concentrating myself to be, who I've been focusing myself to be, who I've been practicing myself to be in certain areas of my life, I had to say, Davion, nope. I gotta make that choice again. I gotta make it right now. And I gotta make it right here. As much as there's a part of me that doesn't. Because I don't want to end up as one of those bitches who love themselves so much that I love myself completely away from everybody. However, can you see me, Bubs?
Oh, you kind of froze for a second, but
Can
I can
y'all
hear
see
you.
me? That's my...
Okay, you good now. You good now.
Okay, yeah, because my internet, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, like,
For
you know,
complicated.
but I had to make the choice
Mhm.
again because I've developed this fuller part of me in such a way that it just won't allow me to lay in it anymore. I
Mhm.
would feel not that I can't, but there's a stronger conviction if I dishonor myself.
Mhm.
I'm like, I can't go back to the old self. I can't do this the old way. And
And that was
even though I don't temporarily want what will come from standing up for myself,
Mhm.
the bigger L would be staying where I am.
Yeah.
I got to get the fuck up from this, and I got to make this choice again. I recently went through this with a friendship in Philadelphia, a long-term friendship that's been on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, and we were back on again this year. I was very hopeful. I'm like, oh God, you know, this is like our 7th interim of friendship. You know, we've
The
been
lucky
at
number
this thing.
7, bitch. Come on,
We've
work.
been at this thing for a long time. You know, he came back during the retrograde. A lot of people came back actually during the retrograde, and there was a breakdown a month ago, and I did not want in any way. I was not expecting to have to go to forge ahead without my friend. It pains me every single fucking time that I've had to walk away. But because that person was not willing to be accountable for the disrespect and the harm they had caused me, there was also no space for me to maintain. There wasn't any room. It wasn't even. I was left without anything to rationalize the friendship with.
Mhm.
And as much as ideally I didn't want to give up the friendship, everything I had been creating in myself just wouldn't allow me to sit well. It wouldn't allow me to deny my experience, to ignore my experience, and eventually that resulted in me going on about my way, which I'm proud of.
Mhm.
I'm proud of. And so another way to explain kind of like self-love for me is like going to the gym and working out that muscle. Like, you you got to hit that gym if you want the full power, if you want the full gamut of your health, if you want the full gamut of your muscle, of your immune system, you have to put in that work, and you got to make that choice again and again and again. It's a commitment. It's not like you go to the gym, you get your body or you get your health in check, and then you just can go sit on a couch and do what you want and you're going to have qualified immunity. No, that qualified immunity is going to be based upon your ability to commit to this for yourself over and over and over and over and over again. And as long as you're committed to it, you'll have access to the strength to do it. You'll have access to the good. You'll have access to the all things work for the well of my goodness. You'll have access to the he who seeks the kingdom first shall have every other thing added unto them. You'll constantly be a recipient of that vitality, but you have to commit to that work, and that has to be your commitment, and you have to be able to make those self-love choices over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so yeah, I'm now in the period of my self-love journey where I understand like this is a discipline. It's a discipline, and it is something that I'm developing as a habit, and something that is a part of lifestyle. It's my lifestyle. It's not something that's ever going to come natural to me, because we all have a lower self, and some trauma injuries leave a permanent crater. So if you're not making a commitment to live your authentic life, to respect your healing, and to respect your injuries, then you'll never stay away from the triggers. You will always end up faithfully in relationships to people who trigger up your trauma, exploit your trauma, etc. So that self-love is a powerful, powerful thing. And one more thing that I want to dispel before I let Bubs get back in here is self-love is not going to keep bad people off your radar.
No shade. No shade.
The more light you walk in, yes, you're going to attract others who are of the light, but you're also going to attract brokenness, because brokenness is attracted to healing. Broken people are attracted to hospitals. Broken people are attracted to doctors and nurses. So as you also grow in your fullness and your wellness, this isn't about vibrating bad people out of your reality. Bad people are going to be continually vibrating into your reality. Narcissists, users, scammers are going to be vibrating into your reality as well. But self-love gives you the ability to not form relationship to those people and not form long-term relationship to those people accidentally. You're able to recognize what's happening to you, recognizing what they are doing, and you have the inner capacity to adjust yourself accordingly. Even if for a minute you got off into la la land, you got off into fantasy land, you actually kind of fell for the okie dokie just a little bit. So loving yourself won't keep weird ass people out of your life. It won't keep weird ass people from entering into your life, but it will keep you from consciously being in a relationship to danger. Bubs?
I'm sorry, the last part. And they'll say it does. And I remember, again, during the beginning of my self-love journey, for real. I remember CTV saying, like, once you start this, as much as there may be times where you might want to turn back. You might want to go back because it's comfortable. It's something that you're familiar with. Even though it's destructive, it's still comfortable. It's still familiar. It's still something that you know. You can't go back to your old life. And that's the beautiful thing about self-love, too. It's kind of like, I think a lot of people are afraid to let go because we don't know what else there is after this. And I think that's also a part of humanity as well. Like, when there is something new, a lot of times in the beginning, we fear it because it's new. And unfortunately, people fear what they do not understand. And then when they don't check that, they don't regulate that, that fear turns into hate, as we can see in today's world, unfortunately. But it's about going through the fear. And one thing that I kind of like do to kind of check myself sometimes, like when I feel like I'm really get into my ego, and I say this on my platform as well, make sure y'all follow Bubs of God. Thank you. Think about death. Like, sit in that. The fact that one day you are going to die and there is nothing you can do about it. You don't know when you're going to die. You don't know how you're going to die. Now, initially, when you sit in that, you're going to have this immediate, oh my God, you're going to hyperventilate, but still be aware of that. But once you make it through that point, hopefully there is a reminder, or for those who are just starting, an awareness of, wow, I don't have that much time on this planet. So let me live my life with intention and purpose. To where now you're going to start investing in yourself more. And, excuse me. And getting what it is that you want out of the situation. But if you love yourself, and I forgot who said this, but they say when you love yourself, look at the situation like a cup. If you're always pouring from your cup to everybody else, but you don't have no source to connect to that continues to open up the floodgates on your ass, when the time comes for you to reach into your own personal cup, there will be nothing there. Because we've been too busy pouring. But if we learn to love ourselves, we can get to an overflow state And everybody else gets what comes on the saucer and the overflow. What's in the cup is for me. Or if I'm going to pour from my cup, it's either going to be in a sacrificial way of me knowing what I'm doing, or in the times where somebody has to bear the weight of all that has to be for a little bit, that individual will also pour back into you, which is why meaningful relationships are important. I used to sit here and romanticize the idea, because my ego deaths were involving romance with men. I had to die to that idea of the fantasy of what I wanted with these particular people. And when they would not give me what I wanted, when I put in the work, there was a level of guilt there, a level of betrayal. And then what I would do would turn it around on me and say, well, I must be doing something wrong in reference to this. Maybe it was something I said. Maybe it was something that I didn't say. Like, what could it be? I'm being told I'm this awesome person. I will make a great boyfriend, a great husband, a great father, all these wonderful things, but I'm always hit with that butt. Do you know what that feels like? Like, that can really trigger you. But then when you deal with self-love and you grow and evolve, you look at those people, and whatever resentment or anger that you have is not really there, because now you understand these people were only operating in what it is that they knew at the time. Because even when you love yourself, you're able to have a greater awareness of why people did what they did to you, to where when you let it go, you can let it go because now you understand. And you realize that it really wasn't that personal. That person was broken. The problem and the issue with today's world is that the individuals who are adults who are broken were once children who were broken. And especially in the Black community, we have so much traumatic shit from slavery and no sort of restoration, no sort of reconciliation. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Of course, you're going to internalize that, which is why a lot of times we swept it under the rug or was on some color purple, you better not never tell nobody but God type shit. But now that we live in the era of social media, which can hold everybody accountable, because now you got to really think about what you say and what you do, because it's all being recorded. Now a lot of adults are seeing, wow, this is how I look. This is how broken I am. And instead of dealing with that and addressing that, we fall further into the narcissism. I did a live on my channel, I want to say like anywhere from 3 to 6 months ago, about a couple. I forgot the individual's name, but the female's name was the Duchess. And she and her husband, boyfriend, lover were in this on and off again domestically violent relationship, to where they were even casting spells on each other and shit. The last live they did was such a heated one that she started saying, oh, and by the way, that nigga gay, because I found out he was doing some whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And that was the last thing she ever said. He told her, cut that fucking camera off. Then the camera stopped. The man unalived her, then unalived himself. Yeah. That's why I say, where's the community at? If we had a community of people who were loving and genuine and authentic, but also knew how to stay, because a lot of these people now, all they really want is a fucking hug. All they really want is someone to care about them, because they come from brokenness. When I had my ego death, again, I keep bringing that up because that's what the fuck we going through. Buckle up, buttercups. But when I had my ego death, I started watching more gang oriented content in reference to like interviews, street interviews. And when I would sit here and listen to these drill ass rappers talk about their life, and let's move past all the popular songs, all the hot ass TikTok edit songs, but we go through the whole album. There are songs where they are depressed, explaining why they popping perks, why they sipping lean, why they huffing Galaxy gas, why they're doing all these things that they're doing. Because some of these motherfuckers just want a hug. I watched another video that brought tears to my eyes, where it was this group of young Black men. And this one of the officiators, or, you know, the people there, please forgive my word choice, y'all. It is what it is. Buff's God. He was talking to a young Black dude, and the Black dude was getting emotional. He said, man, why you getting emotional? And it's because he had to hold all that shit in, because in order to be a man, you cannot be emotional. Because if you're emotional, that's feminine shit and that's gay shit. And you got grown ass Mucinex mascot ass niggas on red pill platforms, girl, saying this. And he's sitting there saying, and this individual is giving him an opportunity to have a safe space to be able to unload and to share what he's been going through amidst his black brethren. He just went down the list of all this type of shit. Ain't nobody say, bro, you gay. Ain't nobody saying, oh, you acting like a female. Ain't nobody saying, man, suck that shit up, you a fucking man. If a man cannot, and I know it's more than just man, but just in this context, if a man, especially a black man, cannot walk and be connected to his emotional side, this nigga literally walking around in warfare every day. A warrior every day. Instead of being able to have a community that will allow him to be able to be a human. And we can see that across the board in heterosexual, queer spaces, black spaces, white spaces. This is an issue of the fucking heart. And this current trauma administration, baby, is going to play on all of that. They want the Bhadie B shit to happen. They're setting things up right now to where you gotta stay connected to this. Ain't gonna be no divorce. Ain't gonna be no disconnection. They want all this to happen, which is why the responsibility is also on us, which means we gotta operate and show up differently too. We gotta do something different. And no shade, if we're gonna keep it a bean, if we don't stay on top of our self-love and grow and evolve, we are all one Bhadie B situation away. We are all one Akbar situation away from something like this happening. Because again, like you said, we are human. But it's that love. If there's anything that I can sit up here and literally plead to in reference to what I want people to take away from this conversation is to love yourself. It's not narcissistic to love yourself. You're not pessimistic for loving yourself. You're not self-centered or ego-driven for loving yourself. Some of y'all deserve better. And as an individual who sat here and accepted the breadcrumbs, accepted the fucking pickle juice, we deserve better than that. And if that means we have to be alone, so fucking well. Let me tell you something. There's so many damn toys out here, roses. You can get you a damn realistic sex doll that feel like the real thing. All time. There are avenues that you can explore.
It is. I want to add something super quick to that.
Go ahead.
There are so many, to Bub's point, effective ways to remain single and still have all of your needs met, including in that clitoris, those clitoris needs, those penile needs.
Yeah, that at all.
But also, I think something that we really have to explore as well is the power of being filled up with the love of God. I remember my recent edible experience in Philly. I was so marinated and saturated and had been downloaded with so much cosmic divine love that I did not eat for 3 fucking days. I didn't eat for 3 days because, once again, some of what we experience as physical hunger actually is emotional hunger, intimacy hunger, intellectual hunger that's being represented through physical hunger. And the only reason I ate on the 4th day is because I just wasn't quite clear about what was taking place. And I was like, well, let me eat something. Because, bitch, I ain't never just like went 3 fucking days without eating food. But I was literally so complete. Right. I was so full. I was so grounded. I was so tuned in turned on, tapped in, that was the result of having all of my needs met. Is that the thing that we find pleasure in, which could be sex, could be eating, could be spending, could be shopping, whatever way we fill the void. You may find those areas completely neutralized when you really tapped into the fullness of love and truly gotten into harmony, into a selfless, universal harmony that doesn't come from any external source. Comes from internal alignment, and it is powerful. There is so much inner resource in us, and this knowledge has been completely washed away and diluted and just sometimes outright rejected in order to keep us dependent upon the system, dependent upon other people who are banking on your dependency because they have no idea that they are energy vultures and parasites. Well-meaning people. These well-meaning people who suck on you, they could be your parents, they could be your friends, they could be your lover, etc. Well-meaning, all happening on an unconscious level. So deprived and have no idea how rich inner alignment can be. But you can't do better when you don't know better. So most people don't have any idea about how rich their internal self is, how much resource is inside of you, that the literal kingdom of life itself, the kingdom of vitality itself, the kingdom of joy itself is literally a fixed reality in you. And you just have to be aware of that and be given a few effective tools on how to reach that inner infinity that, like Christ told the woman at the well, runs infinitely. It's an infinite supply of that good shit. And the thing about this good shit is nobody got to puff and pass it to you because it's your shit. But you got so much of it, but you got so much of it in abundance that you could share it and pass it and evangelize it to anybody who wants that. When I think about like romantic love, I just, I want to nuance this too, because I know that I want to nuance what I mean in terms of like on an unconscious level, people be looking for their sedative in other people, like make me feel better, make me feel better, make me feel better, and then I'll agree to make you feel better, and that'll be our agreement, is to make each other feel better. There's nothing wrong with aligning with people that make you feel good, and healthy relationships are dependent upon agreements and genuine conditions of people being well. I just want you to remember that it's not just about finding other people who are willing to partake and to help amplify your own happiness. It's just about also finding it for yourself. And that's like the contrast between healthy people and unhealthy people, is that unhealthy people are solely looking for that peace by making it someone else's responsibility, while healthy people have it for themselves and are also looking for enriched community, so that it's a 2-for-1. So just know that your own happiness, first and foremost, like it is your burden to discover. It's your responsibility to uncover. and it is your commitment to you for the rest of your life. And then from that place of authenticity and from that place of upliftment and self-liberation, then you give yourself away. Then that's what you share with others. That's what you build upon with others. But you have to come with those materials yourself in order to help build a house that can be shared by many, whether it's with you and your lover, you and your friends, whether it's you starting your own family. Yeah, it's about bringing material to the table, not just looking for tables that have material for you to take from, but for you to also add to, and making sure that we ourselves are always doing the work. I remember sharing on my live a few weeks ago how my partner was like questioning me, like, you okay? You okay? You okay? You okay? And we were just perched on a couch, cuddled up in each other. Like, yeah, I'm okay. He was asking me that out of a place of insecurity because he's used to having a lover be having unhealthy codependency upon him. So sometimes he has to ask me, am I okay? Because I'm not obsessed with his presence, but I do enjoy it and I'm rewarded by it. But I'm not obsessed over it. And I'm not ever going to allow myself to go back to that place because it's a fear-based place. It's a place of lack. It's a place of insecurity. And because I have retained so much of my own inner alignment, I've made a commitment to not give that up, to be a part of nobody else. I can have both. I just have to have somebody who is complete in that way too, so that they understand that my self-love doesn't take away from our love. My self-love don't take away from my love for you. If anything, it adds to our love experience because
complements it. Yep.
Because you're having the experience of all that good shit that God got for us through experience and people. And you also have all of you still intact too. You didn't have to destroy yourself to be a part of me. And I didn't have to destroy myself to be a part of you. And so it's a shared paradise. And I was very proud of my partner when my partner actually reacted that way, because I was like, oh damn, like I really, yeah. I'm really, bitch. Like I'm doing this shit. Like I'm really I'm growing so magnificently to the point that, you know, other people gotta kind of check in to make sure I'm still there. Like, still there? Yeah, I'm here, happy. I'm fine. It's all good. I mean, it's all good, you know? And it's a beautiful thing, people. So yeah, I wanted to make a conversation out of Akbar and Bhad Bhabie. And I see myself in both of those women. I see my old self in both of those women. I know what it's like, baby. I know what it's like to be so desperate for that need to be seen and to be welcomed and to be received and to be chosen, and you know, all of the equity that we put into being chosen by other people. And I know what it's like to, you know, to just, we all know what it's like to just be on our knees, you know, utterly in pain because of love that we thought we needed in order to be happy, whether that was a resource that came from our families or from our spouses, etc. And I know what it's like, baby, to be deep off in that psychosis, baby, to be into the roof of that, to the hood of that cot, begging me for the addict to be begging the crack pipe to stay. To stay with me, crack. Stay with me.
I'll suck your dick. I'm sorry.
It is a addictive state of, and it's psychosis. When we don't love ourselves, we enter into the realm of delusion, dependency, and psychosis. We are not our real selves. We are a shell of ourselves. We are a debased version of ourselves. And that desperation can be so injurious and create a void so full. I recently heard somebody say that there are some voids that only God can fill, because some voids, some injuries are so traumatic and leave such a crater that they have infinite depth to them. Therefore, it requires an infinite source to pour into that infinite hole. And that source is a divine one. That source is only in God, in true alignment, full alignment with self. So yeah, if you are somebody who is on a love journey, you are somebody who's experiencing withdrawals, you're going through depression because things are not where they should be with your parents or with your children or with your spouse or in your love life, and just know that it gets better if you want it to. If you want to do the work will yield the results. Just like if you make a dietary change, if you decide to implement working out, you'll see the results if you willing to put in the work. And we share our experience to also give you the affirmation of knowing that you're not alone.
Correct.
It's okay to be wounded, and it's okay that you are broken, and it's okay to absolutely do something about that brokenness. And I want people to stay encouraged. I never will allow myself under any circumstances to ever become the energy that clings to the ankles and the Achilles heels and the hood of someone else again. When I saw Bhad Bhabie, it terrified me, but in all the right ways. I was like, baby, this is exactly why I'm gonna stay motherfucking strong.
Okay.
I would never. My commitment is to never, baby. Never. I can't.
And no shade, those experiences could have also ended deadly, not just for, Bhaddie B and Akbar, but it could have been bad for both of those niggas. They could have got to a point to where they unalived them niggas. You get what I'm saying? So it's just, yeah.
But the thing about it is, the reason why they're both in these death-defying situations is because they're already dead within. That's why the body is nothing more than meat on the chopping board. They're already spiritually dead, emotionally dead. So the body is just matching energy.
Some zombie shit.
It's matching energy, We're already dead. And the body is just following because the mind is already gone. So the body doesn't care. It'll throw itself into traffic. It'll throw itself off the roof of a building. It'll put a GUN into its mouth and blow its head out. It's a dark place to be. And it's absolutely not about the person that we're with. It's not even at that point about the person who did it. It's really us having a experience of ourselves. And I always tell people, when people ask me like, CTV, you are a Christian. What do you make of being saved? Like, what does that mean? What does it mean to be saved? I said my interpretation and experience of what it means to be saved and what Christ offered, what Christ demonstrated, what Christ taught, what Christ made possible is for the state of consciousness. What Christ made possible through his life, death, and resurrection is my accessibility of a state of consciousness that is fully and wholly capable of not saving me from God or not saving me from my enemies, but from saving me from my motherfucking self. Because I absolutely need to be saved from me. And that is all of us, which is why we're all capable of bringing such profound light into the world and are equally capable of bringing absolute and utter destruction unto ourselves and to other people. And because of that ability and capacity, we require salvation on the deepest, fully actualized level. Or else we will be little the tyrannies unto our lives and unto our communities, and ultimately perish altogether from the implosion of ignorance, the implosion of trauma, because that's what all those things result in, is an inner implosion and a loss of good and a loss of health and self in the world. So saving, and that's what my commitment is I yield to my soul salvation every single fucking day, not to appease an angry God, but to keep me from fucking up my life and yours.
Hello.
Because baby, I'm capable. And I'm aware. That's the humility. That's the humility of any honest person, is being deeply aware of what you could do with your superpowers, what you could do with your skill set, what darkness could do to you and transform you. And none of us are above it. None of us are above it. And anytime that you get delusional and you get non-humbled and full of yourself and you think that you are just inherently good, life will bring you and manifest things in your life
Maybe
that will bring out the foul of self. That will bring you to your inner murderer, your inner psychopath,
okay,
your inner Joanne the scammer, your inner etc. So those are my final words. Anything that you want to?
I mean, you said everything so beautifully. I guess one more time, a petition to just love yourself. There are ways that you can start loving yourself. It can start off with small affirmations, as far as looking at yourself in the mirror every day. 5-10 seconds of affirmation. It may seem small, but stick with it. I think they say it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 days to break a habit, but also to form a new one. Because all the things that we're doing are nothing but habitual patterns. So we have to unlearn them and learn something new. And it is possible. I mean, the fact that people are here listening right now and subscribe to this platform is definitely a affirmative one. So just make sure to carry that into your own lives. And you only have one life to live, and let it be your best life. We live in a world now, like CTV said, that's so very insecure that they want everyone to bend to their will in order for their lives to be good. No, baby, you got to follow your own life. Follow your own path. And that answer is inside of you. No sort of religion is going to give you the complete answer. It's going to be a signpost. But if you read between the lines in all of these religions, all of them say to go into the self.
Go inner.
I'm gonna leave it with this last thing. One of my friends, I remember he and I was watching this Disney movie called Encanto, girl. It was a Spanish movie, Latin movie, Disney movie. Haven't watched a Disney movie in a long time, girl. And it's about this girl that's born into this family of people who have all these superpowers, and you know they have all these gifts and stuff, but she never ever got it. She was the outcast. But as she continued to get older and more of her family members decided to be more honest and aware, even though they had these powers, they were lacking in other areas. And their family was somewhat breaking apart. I ain't gonna tell the whole premise. It's a really good movie, but it was breaking apart. And a lot of people were saying that it was her fault. So of course she's trying to figure out, well, what can I do to fix it? What can I do to fix it? And when there was an opportunity for her to get some information, it will always be blurry as far as this mirror is concerned. It would never show her what the true path was. So she had to walk by faith. And when she walked by faith and operated in love, she didn't realize that she, the black sheep of the family, she, the one who was not so special, was the one that was really special all along. Because she was able to unite the family in love. And I'm sitting there, girl, tearing up, fighting back tears and shit, crying at this damn Disney movie because it has such a good, energetic storyline and affirmation to it. So I say all that to say this again in closing. Make sure that you love yourself. Make sure that you love yourself. You love yourself. Life is beautiful. And even though life objectively is about to get very fucked up, subjectively, you have the choice on how you interpret that. You have the power to transmute that. Now, if the people could learn to love themselves, get their shit together, oh, just imagine what powerful force we would really be. That's it.
Agreed. And I want to say to Karen's comment that we saw money doesn't mean happiness or anything much, just a level of comfort. Yeah, money is a byproduct of the material world, and it's only related to the material world. It's only material currency. Money can only bring convenience, but money cannot give you access to inner resource, because money is an external resource. So that's why sometimes it takes people to get everything that money can buy to realize how empty they actually have been this whole time, and to realize that it was never about money. It was never about means. And sometimes it takes getting everything and being able to do the things that you want to do to realize what you have really been after this entire time, which obviously those things are not synonymous with. That's why you see so many people at the top. They take all their trauma with them to the top. They take their depression to the top. They take their ego to the top, their narcissism to the top. They take their trauma to the top, and they become a mess at the top because money is not the resolve. The only people who are happy with money is the people who are independently happy to begin with. And so money is just it is just a resource. Their happiness was never dependent upon it to begin with. So doing the work at this level is super important, because if you do the work and get to your happiness right now, this actually can help you to avoid putting all the effort into getting this, that, and the third in the material world. And instead, that time can be allocated to living your life according to whatever your authentic self actually is, because so many people spent their life in the wrong direction. I can't tell you how many horror stories I've heard about successful people who have so many regrets at the end of their life. They went to school, they got the accolades, they made all the money, they had the fancy car, the fancy house, and they missed the entire life. Missed their entire life, completely not present, completely chasing after the status quo, thinking that this is what this was really about, and have utter regrets about what they prioritize as happiness, not even understanding that it wasn't until it was seemingly almost too late. So do your work now so that you don't fuck around and commit to putting your energy in a direction that's ultimately not going to fulfill you in life anyway. Do your work now so that you can be on purpose and can be intentional and can be fulfilled and be headed in the proper direction of your soul and your legacy right now. Right now. Figuring out right now will keep your ass off the wrong path for the next 10 years. Keep you from an ignorant direction in life. Because you can resolve it. You can understand it right now. So, amazing commentary, Bubs. Amazing
Yes.
subject. I really wanted to have this conversation. I said, oh, baby, this conversation needs to be had. And we got to talk about the psychosis of material love and this counterfeit love that we have had demonstrated to us, that have led large chunks and generations of people off the fucking cliff into their spiritual deaths, into their emotional deaths. We got to delineate between the counterfeit love of the ego and the actual love of the authentic self and the divine self, which have two different expressions. And this was good.
Yeah.
So once again, tell the people where they can cash app you and follow you at on YouTube, and Bub's YouTube channel is linked in the description box below, you guys.
Oh, yes. You can follow me on pretty much all social medias, Bubs the Guy, YouTube, of course, Instagram, X, on Rumble. And of course, if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit that Cash App $, Bubs the Guy. We take everything that jingles, folds, and in between. Okay, thank you so much. And as always, Kang, thank you so much for having this conversation. Even wanted me to be part in it, because girl, no shade, I wouldn't mind sitting my ass in the comments and listening to your ass break this shit down. So the fact that I'm able to join you on this is amazing. So again, thank you. And thank you to the Conscious crew. Y'all been amazing, but y'all just amazing.
I said, well, there ain't no better person to have this conversation with, because I personally have seen you put in the work and seen you transform and have seen you come quantum leaps in your life.
About to go higher. Yeah.
About to go higher, baby. We ain't even done quantum leap.
Hell no, girl. This is scratch the tip of the iceberg, baby. Jesus.
And it's amazing. God is good, you guys. You guys already know where you can find me. Make sure that you guys share the stream out to a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. And I'm sure that this isn't the last of this conversation, because all of America is experiencing a goddamn state of psychosis. So we'll be using all of it, child, to have the goddamn conversation.
Yes.
We got a lot of mess to catch up on Friday, so we will be live and in color as well. And I love you all, and tell me what you guys think of Bhad Bhabie and Akbar V, and what you think love actually is. Put it all in the comment section and thumbs up the video, and we will see you all later.